Live from EverCast Studios, it's I, Flattus. Out in the field in Norath, we have Chewina with the Outside at Norath News.
Hey guys, are you getting me all right, Flattus?
You're coming in loud and clear.
Good. It's honestly pretty crazy down here. I'm outside Kinos, and we have Dave Mark starting another artificial intelligence rant on Twitter. Domino has just tweeted another cat picture. Omid seems to be harassing the local ladies with his colorful pants, and Kalbur seems to be missing. People are literally just sad that EQ Next isn't done yet. Wait. Are you getting this, Flattus?
I hear some static coming into the headset.
I'm getting some. I breaking news. Please hold. Yeah. Oh God, no. Are you serious? It seems we're gonna have to cut immediately to another program. Flattus Helsing is back, everyone. Oh my gosh, he's actually holding the EverCast crew hostage right now. I'm just getting that Kalbur has already been compromised, and oh God, Chewina is being forced to eat Big Macs. What sort of madness is afoot? Oh, that's right. It's our 10th episode, so hold on to your halflings, for this is EverCast.
Welcome to the EverCast Show with Sadlin and Kylan, Chewina and Flattus and Kalbur. We thank you for tuning in to the EverCast Show.
Is enough. Enough of the same game already. It's time to get some new ideas into this genre. And if somebody was gonna do it, it should be EverQuest. We're at the point right now where we're building something that's both heroic and social. We've taken everything we know about games and MMOs in general, and we're fusing the best parts into an original shape, well, that we hope will create triumph and passion in the gamers that play it. See, we were serious about it being a sandbox game.
Hello and welcome, everybody. This is the 10th episode of EverCast, entitled, You Have the Power.
I have power. Do you have power?
The computer's running. We have power.
I think we all.
I have lights, so I have power.
Good. Power's a good thing.
I'm a woman, I always have power.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, snap. She just dropped the mic on everybody. She was like,
Yeah, we also have Andoran here tonight. Woot woot.
We do.
Hi, Andoran.
And if you are not familiar with Andoran, follow him on Twitter because he has composed at least 2 songs that I know of, music for the EverQuest Next franchise inspired by the short stories, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And they are, just follow him, watch them for yourself, and you'll understand.
I guess we should kick it off with some ECAST news.
Hi, everybody. It's me. I'll be doing the ECAST news tonight. This will be our last show Not until January 12th. Don't worry, we're gonna come back. But this is gonna be our last show for the holidays. We're taking time off to go spend time with our families, and we want it's tough to come and watch Twitch. We know it may give you a break from your mother-in-law. Wink, wink. You know what I'm talking about. But we'll be back January 12th. As we take time to spend with our families, ringing the new year. But we may have something for you guys, something special between now and then. And we all stream on Twitch. So if you're gonna miss us, please, follow us on Twitch. We'll be playing games. I'm pretty sure Tanlin and Kyles will probably be doing some PvP someplace, yelling at each other. Chad will probably be killing something in PlanetSide too, and Cal, all he does is stream, so you'll find him all the time there. And I may be streaming some indie titles that I like playing, so you may catch me out there too. Please remember the NDA for Alpha. That's very important. NDAs are super, super important, guys. Just you don't ruin it for everybody else. Please just don't ruin it for everybody else. All right, I cannot stress that enough. We all want to talk about things, but we can't talk about things. All right. Also, no Toran tonight. He had PC issues all this week. I helped him get his his Windows installed. You owe me, buddy. Calbur is out sick, so everybody go to his Twitter, wish him that he feels better. It sucks having to be out there sick. And also, speaking of Calbur and then our friends across the pond, we want to hear from you guys. We want to know. Do you guys want us to do an earlier show, maybe? For our European fans. Do you guys want to see our pretty faces and not have to wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning to come check us out? So let us know. Email us, hit us up on Twitter or our Facebook page, which we do have now. So if you want to hit us up there, let us know. Also, SOE Live, guys, the dates have been announced. August 14th through the 17th. We know for sure Kylest and Tanlin will be there in attendance. I am still on the fence, depending on how, much moolah I make. I may be there in attendance as well, and, Chewina, and if Cal can make it, we'd all like to see you and, be out there with us. So that's it for EverCast News. Love you guys, and let's kick off the show.
I got the power. We should have really had that queued up for this.
we could have. I think that's one of the things that one of the EverCast News updates is that we are going to have new intro music coming soon, and maybe with that will come with some new sound equipment, so we don't have the echo from being in the same room. Maybe I won't mute myself anymore. Wouldn't that be great? And then
maybe in the drinking game, we got to be able to drink to something.
And then we might be able to have a sound and board where we're plugging in sounds.
Well, fantastic. Is Andoran going to play some fat beats? Are you going to play us anything tonight, Andoran?
Oh, you just never know. Might come up with some sort of dance music, maybe.
I like dance music.
We'll have a dance break during
I
the
like
intermission.
dance music.
That's what we'll have.
Some beatbox.
That's yeah.
That's the extent of my beatboxing.
Man, this is gonna be a fun show. So, what are we starting off with tonight, folks? Grouping and EQN, right?
Grouping is our first topic, and this is sort of based off of the roundtable question that SOE Live, that the EverQuest Next team. I've got it on the brain.
We're not excited.
One of the roundtable questions regarding the content that require multiple groups, and of course, in any sort of MMO, they have some sort of not raid finder, but group finding tools. Sometimes that's just a custom channel in the game, the LFG channel. But even going back as far as Vanguard had a page where you could say, hey, I am this class at this level. I am looking for assistance in these dungeons. Whisper me if you can help, if you would like to help. And that's a very basic tool for grouping in an MMO. And then you go all the way to the very, very advanced, where you have the WoW model, where you can basically be like, I'm DPS, and the game checks your gear to make sure that your gear is the right level to do this content.
Yeah.
And it's basically you sit in a lobby and you wait for the queue to pop and be like, okay, we've assembled the team, everybody go and do it. And so what sort of tools do we think work well? What sort of tools would we like to see in EverQuest next?
Yeah, that's a great question. I definitely see pros and cons to every kind of system you use, right? I'm sort of an old school player, so I guess I really enjoy just spamming chat, saying LFG and all my acronyms as fast as I can. I don't know, something about that I really enjoy. But at the same time, I do like some sort of system in a game where it's easy to group up with people that are interested in the same thing. How do you guys feel? This is an iffy subject for me. How do you feel about being able to instantly teleport somewhere when you join a group? Like a dungeon or something like that, queuing.
Go, Flattus.
I listen. I have very mixed feelings about it. Like I love the ease that it brings. Like, oh, I can just be anywhere and I can be instantly teleported where I need to be. But at the same time, I find myself just sitting in the city, just chilling. Like, why would I need to go anywhere? I don't need to go anywhere. I just need to sit here and just wait for a queue to pop and then click a button and I'm there. I don't have to do anything else unless I want to go do faction stuff. So I'm on the fence with it. I don't think anybody's gotten it right yet.
I can agree with that.
And I agree with that. And I'm on the fence of I don't want the teleporting unless that is where the story is being told. And this is my reasoning. If I have to go to group events and group encounters and that sort of thing to see the story of the game, then that's what I want to do, and I don't want to have to spend a whole lot of time getting to a place to see the story. If that is where the story is occurring, just take me there, because that's what I want to see it. If the dungeons or the instances or the group events aren't necessarily where the action is occurring, it's just something, it's the side project, it's what you do while you're waiting for other things to happen, then no, you run to it. But with that said, I'm not firmly in this, this is not firmly what I believe in. It's just kind of like, hey, you know what, I would kind of like it this way. I could go either way.
It is. It's a mix of, I don't know, exploring. Like, when you get in a group and you actually have to run to find them, you're forced to sort of explore. And you cover a lot of ground. But at the same time, like, first, I hate when I get in a group and they're so far away that it takes me a long time to get there. And by the time I get there, I either miss the activity or they decide to disband or something like that. I cannot stand that. And I think, Tamlin, you were talking with me a few days ago about, the wanting to be able to get to your group member when you log in the game. Or your friend, right? So we're talking about a massive world with emergent content. It's procedurally generated. What if, like, there was a cooldown or some sort where when you joined a group, you could instantly teleport to a friend, and then once you guys are there, the cooldown happens for, I don't know, an hour, 30 minutes, whatever, and then you go about your business and you can explore together.
Yeah, I kind of like that. And I was just thinking that Vanguard even had, all of the healer classes had a summon spell, but it was quite long, but at the same time it was quite short. They couldn't pull you from across the continent to where they were at, but if you got into any part of the dungeon, they could pull you to where they were at. And I think that that's a good example of how to use a teleportation. Like, you still had to travel to where the dungeon was, but then they didn't have to fight all the way to the entrance of the dungeon, and you didn't have to try and sneak or fight all the way to where they were at in the dungeon. They could just, like, hey, bring you to them. And so it made it so that you could get a dungeon group assembled, and if someone needed to drop out and you needed to replace someone, that could happen. And I think that if you don't have just a little bit of those teleportation abilities, it really kind of, like, hey, our tank just left, we're done. And EQN has already said that they don't want to have those sorts of requirements. Like, you should just be able to roll with who you've got. And I think in that kind of feel, you might not need a tank, and you might not need to pull someone in. But at the same time, I feel like it's part of the game.
Have any of you guys played Rift?
Yep, I did.
I have, but I never played any dungeons, so I don't even know what sort of looking for group tools it has.
It had, it's easy because I played it at Talon. It had the same exact kind of looking for group tools that WoW did.
Yeah, but it's not the LFG that I'm really talking about. It has to do more with the events. A Rift would open up, or they'd have their big zone events, and then what would happen is they added it in beta based on player feedback. If you were in a area with a bunch of groups, it would automatically make a public group.
I know exactly what you and you know what I meant to speak a little bit about that. I loved it, and because when I was playing Rift, I was playing a healer, and if you didn't have the group, I need the group interface to be able to heal effectively, because I don't know who is needing a heal unless I have their health bar in front of me, and the only way to see it was to be in a group with them. And I think that they did 3 different versions of beta-ing that, because at first it would automatically throw you into a group raid, and then they were like, oh, wait a minute, people don't want that. Now, and then eventually it got to the point where it would just post an invite to you, like, hey, there is a public group, would you like to join it? And again, I think that this was a very good example of a developers listening to what their community is saying, and then developing the tools to allow them to play the game effectively without, fighting with the game in order to have fun.
And just to clarify, we're talking about events out in the real world. We're looking at it from the EQN standpoint, where they're going to have these massive events where we're building keynotes and we're fighting off armies and stuff.
Yeah, the rally calls.
The rally calls, yeah. And I'm looking at it from that. I would love that public event, just that one big button that says, hey, listen, join this group that's running around across the, join everybody and run across the countryside and, kill ogres and stuff. And I'm down with that.
Yeah, it's all about communicating to the player effectively. Letting them know where the action is, how they can help out, and then how they can join friends. I think that's what grouping culminates down to. I don't think it's necessarily about instantly having you and your friends together, maybe all the time. There has to be a balance between, we might have to go travel here if we want to group up. Maybe we can teleport to this, but really just knowing where the action is and being able to say, hey, look, there's a waypoint over there. I can go to that point and meet my groups there or something. Give us effective tools to be able to group up and be able to strategize.
Well.
By all means.
I don't see any problem with a fast transport. You need to have some way to get players physically together to do dungeons or raids, whatever may be in the game. But people are like, oh, I don't want fast travel. I don't want flying. I don't want ground mounts. So you want to spend 2 hours getting to your friends just to play?
Yeah.
There's gotta be one way to get to people.
What do you think about the issue of, with a very robust looking for group system, that players can go through and see all the dungeons without actually knowing where they are in the world? Do you think that causes a problem? What if it, the first time, before you could queue for a group finder, you had to travel there or clear it, and then after you cleared it, then you could say, hey, I'm looking for this, and you could have some sort of teleportation function to that. Because I think
honestly, that's kind of hard to answer, though, because we don't really even know how dungeons are going to work in EQN. They said there might be instancing, there might not be instancing. It's been such a clouded topic that I don't even know if they're sure how they're really going to do it yet. If it is an instance dungeon, I hate the fact that you can just see everything that you need to do. I like to explore. I was playing EQ Classic and just running around zones, figuring out what I could kill, what I couldn't kill, and just exploring. And it was a lot of fun. When you go into WoW or something, or Rift, and you see every single dungeon, it's like it becomes a lobby game, really. You're sitting in a lobby in town, waiting to just pop the next event. And event, sorry. I don't know. It kind of stinks for me personally.
Yeah,
You guys just keep cutting each other off.
we do.
I don't normally do a whole lot of talking, but a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you just craft or do a quick dungeon or do something near where you are? Maybe those people don't like doing those things. Maybe they're so I'm not like I enjoy PvP, don't get me wrong, but my favorite thing to do in games is typically dungeons and raiding. I enjoy PvE. But I don't want to go just fight random mobs. It's kind of boring. I'd like to just be able to click a button and go. But if you don't want to, then freaking walk there. You don't have to use the tool if it's there. It's not a requirement. Just like the people that are like, oh, I don't want flying mounts. Don't get one. I don't want grand mounts. Don't use it.
I mean, it's hard to argue with that, I guess, you know? I mean, you can choose to play it how you want to play it. But it's whether the game encourages it or not, I guess, is that point then. Like,
Yeah,
if it's a standard and it's really hard for me not to do something, then of course, you know, even if I want to do it, I probably won't do it.
It's like peer pressure. Just because you have a friend that drinks and you don't want to drink doesn't mean you have to.
I tried to get Tanlin to drink with me at SOE Live, but he's strong.
I'm sorry.
And that didn't work.
It did not work at all. Yeah.
Talent's all business.
What do you think, Andoran? When you group up in MMOs, how do you typically go about it?
Well, generally speaking, you try and set things up. You know, we'll meet at such and such a place at such and such a time. You know, ahead of time is what I found to work the best. If it's kind of spur in the moment and somebody just shows up, the way it's always most of the MMOs I've played, there was, you know, you had somebody that could do, you know, that could summon him to the group or do something like that. I don't really have a problem with that. Make it a class ability or something.
Yeah, that's interesting you brought up the out-of-game versus in-game planning, because out-of-game always seems to be important. But I don't know if that should be an excuse for designers not to make a good system in-game. You know, every single MMO I play, I swear that designers, I mean, I guess it has to do with resources, but they never develop the group systems that are effective as a forums or a calendar or TeamSpeak, you know. There's nothing to really strategize, I guess, with, and stick together as a group. Oops, I'm sorry.
That's
pulling a trainer.
Phone. All right,
You're fired.
Oh man, is that on the drinking game? Is it like if cell phone
It
goes
is
off?
now.
We have plenty of drinking games here. Yeah.
No, it's kind of like you say. People always seem to come up with their own, you know, ways to organize that stuff really well. Especially like for EQ1, you know, when you were looking at guilds that were between, you know, 90 and 100, 120 man raids, you had to organize and you had to learn how to get people to different targets really quickly, because there were other guilds doing the same thing, and you'd miss targets, you'd miss raid targets. You had to learn to organize and move, you know, and do things really well.
Not that it's. I gotta say this though, just being a former guild leader, please give me tools that are actually useful to make things like raiding and things scheduling like that. Like I don't have to.
Like in game.
Oh, please! Like I don't mind mods, and I use them in Warcraft and stuff like that to help with that stuff. But if it's in game and it's nice, I'll use it. And if it's easy to set it across that it can, you know, if they develop a mobile app that connects to the game for the guilds and stuff, that it pops up on your phone and send you a reminder, hey, listen, raid is at 9 o'clock. Oh my! I would love that.
That would be cool.
To no end, I would love that.
Shoot, just like hook it up with some Gmail calendar API or something. So
That's what I was thinking. Like, how many tools would you like to see if you were a guild leader? Would you like tools that interacted with people outside of like a game plan? Like, if they put in their Twitter or their email or even their phone number, that it would send them a text like half hour before raid and remind them. Would you want something that much, or would you want it to be like, no, let's just leave it in the client?
Maybe not. Maybe
You
not.
make
But go ahead.
Throttle my guild
I was gonna
leader.
I was gonna say you make an interesting point, because in EVE Online they have a portal.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, there are ways to communicate with people in game from your phone, from whatever, from a computer, without actually being in game. It's a pretty cool idea.
No, I know that I didn't play much in EVE, but I've talked to players, and that's one of the things, like the larger alliances, they want to be able to get a message to you when you're not in the game, because in EVE, when something big goes down, it's massive, and they want as many people to be able to show up as they can.
And you would think the same thing with the rallying calls. If something crazy, because remember, it could just be a flip of the switch, or the AI kicks in, and it's like all of a sudden there's a dragon.
Yeah.
So
you would want tons of people there.
So how's this for an idea? Have something that a guild leader could use, and have it be like an app on the phone, to where it would send a notification or alert, saying, okay, this is going on.
Believe it or not, I have to give Rift credit where credit's due. Their app, you could set it up so you knew when events were going. It's like specific in-game events were going on.
You can also have guild chat on it too. PlanSite 2 has something similar. Only thing with SOE mobile app, sorry guys, their app support always sucks. Like, they always make a kind of decent app in the beginning, and then it just kind of never gets updated, or if it gets updated, it never gets updated that well.
That's better than the ArenaNet, where they promised us a World versus World app and they never delivered. But then at a certain point in time, the players realized that it wasn't necessary.
Yeah,
but I mean, let's look at like what they delivered so far as an app, like the EQ Worlds app, kind of like that. I like that thing. That thing is nifty. It's nice.
I do too.
It's fun. Like I think Sony kind of looked back at what because they were at the time, they were reaching for a lot of things that a lot of companies weren't really going for yet, like a mobile app. They were Facebook integration with certain like Facebook games that they had developed to work with EverQuest 2, and they even had their own card game before, like they had I can't remember the name of the card game now, Legends of Norath. They have that going, and that unlocks like things, which I would like to see that come over to EQ next. I want to see if they're
right. The Secret World also launched with a Facebook game precursor to it, and I thought that they were going to keep that Facebook game. I thought that was going to be a more integral part of the game itself. Like, it was supposed to, you assign you to your faction, and then your faction did all this Facebook networking. And I thought that was going to continue on after the game launched, but it seemed like it was only leading up to the game launch, and then once the game launched, they were like, okay, now come play our game. And I mean, it was pretty cool that they even had that sort of social interaction, that grassroots Facebook, building a game, but I think they could have kept it around a little bit longer.
Especially for a game set in a modern setting, you think they could have kept it going.
Yeah.
So,
now, I want to attack this problem from a different perspective. I want to attack it from the group member who joins a group, like Dungeon Finders or something like that. I find that the meanest, like, most impatient people are in those groups typically. You'll join in, maybe you'll never be in the dungeon before, or you might not know your role completely 100%. You'll instantly get kicked out. They'll yell at you, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just or any MMO. Oh, yeah, with League of Legends.
I could spend a lot of time talking about that.
But is that a design problem?
No, well,
I think it is.
I actually think it's a community problem. And I think that's a whole nother topic, because I've actually been...
But doesn't the design drive the community?
No, and it's funny you should say that, because what's funny, and Flattus can attest to this, that Warcraft has the same tools for Alliance and Horde, and I don't want to get too much into it, but it is completely different. And I want to pull some examples of things that I've encountered to illustrate my point, that it is definitely a community thing, and speculate a little bit about why that is. But just it definitely something that we can talk about a whole lot more, but it's the same tools, but slightly different community with completely different experiences.
Yeah. I'm going to put that on the notepad for after hours, maybe, if we have time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because I totally disagree. It'll be fun.
We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight in the after show.
Battle Royale.
Them are fighting words.
Well, I'm afraid of talking about it too much because Kai Lest will come over and take my horde card.
Well, guys, we are like a half an hour into the show already, and we've covered one topic.
All right,
That day.
time to move
on,
it.
huh?
Yeah. So our next topic, Flattus picked this one up. It is why Landmark is not Minecraft.
Yeah, that's a big one. I've been playing Minecraft for a long time. Like I think right in the middle of beta, I picked up Minecraft and it was still about $15 to pick it up. Now it's respectively $27 for the client. And I mean, and just to throw out some crazy numbers that just have been recently posted, Minecraft, just had reached. They sold 13 million copies just on the PC version. That's a lot. That's big time stuff for a game that was all about punching wood, creating blocks, building things, and that's all it was at first. And then mobs came in, and then it grew from a game that all you did was build to a game that now there's adventure maps and people made mods, and there's different types of Minecraft because people modded it out and made like tech mod Minecraft, and there's wires and pipes.
Yeah.
And there's the Xbox 360 version alone sold more than 8 million, and then the Pocket Edition sold 10 million. It's a juggernaut. It is a juggernaut that developed a whole new gaming genre of building. Now Landmark is coming in, and I feel like it's time to graduate. I was in high school. I spent years in high school playing with Minecraft, and it's time to grow up. And I think Landmark's that next step. Landmark is giving me the tools to not just make a house that is like a rectangle or a square. I can live in a gigantic orb. If I really want to. I can live in a sphere. And I can create, and there's like the little things too. In Minecraft, I would use 4 pistons to make a table. So you had to think outside the box with Minecraft. But now in Landmark, I'll be able to create tables, and I'll be able to have fireplaces with actual fires in them, and I'll be able to design moats of lava around my place. And I mean, I could do that in Minecraft, but like I don't like just the level of design that I'll be able to do is going to be amazing. And then not only that, there's adventure. We know there's going to be adventure. There's going to be mobs. No, it's not what Minecraft. I think what Sony did was like, this is a great game. We know that all of them play Minecraft. We know that. Everybody's touched that game. So I think it's time to graduate. I think that's where we're going. I mean, who here hasn't played Minecraft? I think Kai Lest and Talon, have you played yet?
No, I own it. I love it.
You do love it.
Oh my god!
She was playing this morning and last night.
See? There.
I could stay up till like 6 a.m.
Wait. So the difference between Minecraft and EverQuest Next Landmark is that Landmark's more advanced.
Yeah,
But essentially it is Minecraft.
No,
Is that what you're saying?
Really,
'Cause that's what it sounds like
really
you're
feel
saying.
like it's fair to me that kind of a comparison.
It is. I mean, like the thing is also going to be like, are you going to have the differences here is the bar for entry. Now,
I think it's more, but go ahead.
I think it is.
If I came, let's say if I got a PC and people were like, oh, I've been hearing about that Minecraft game, and let's say Landmark's out, and then I look up Landmark, I don't have to pay to get in. I get better tools, I get better graphics, I get better design options, and I get the same game for free, and I can go in and play with games and group and build things across. And not only that, now I'm getting also PvP tools and all this other tools that I can't really.
Right. If I can stop you right there, because I pulled this out of the What is Landmark video, and I mean, if you guys haven't watched it, like the viewers at home on the stream, go back and watch the video. I'm gonna play I think it's a 10-second snip, and I think that what Dave says about what EverQuest Landmark is the most since Minecraft came out, I think that this is the next hugest step in playing online game. It's enormous if I interpret what he's saying correctly. So let me just play it and then we can talk about what we're hearing.
Tanlinisms.
We're building EverQuest Next. which means all the tools and mechanisms that we're assembling come over the wall into Landmark and make you extremely powerful. So all the AI tools, the story and dialogue mechanisms, the PvP controls, all of that stuff comes into your pocket so that you can make what we can make.
So again, I want to see, what I heard him say was not that he is taking the tools from EverQuest Next and putting them in Landmark for the developers. He says he's taking those tools and giving them to the players.
Exactly.
That's huge. That's like, oh my goodness, I can have PvP controls and AI tools and all of this stuff that I can start making my own. Like, that's huge.
Honestly, yeah, I give props to SOE for that video. Because honestly, it was said over time. Like Smedley way early said, "Oh, system level tools could be awesome," and then Dave said, "Oh, we want people to build their own battlegrounds kind of thing." And then later the AI came in, but it was never really said in one area until that. And I think it sums up exactly what makes this different from Minecraft. Minecraft is sort of an in-game experience. I think Landmark elevates the design to a level where you are your, if you're talking about Dungeons & Dragons, you are your dungeon master. You're making the game for others to play. There's so many different ways to experience it. You can take it from an in-game level of Minecraft where you go out and explore, or you can take it from a meta approach and really be building the experience that other people's play. And that's Landmark to me.
It's in my mind, it's like making it almost like a moddable situation inside the game. So
exactly,
some of the most popular games that have ever been are mods of games, and
right.
You turn people loose on this, and they get really creative and do, like you say, create like a dungeon master situation, and that's nothing but win. I think that would really draw a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah, and like my favorite part about Minecraft is not, I mean, as much fun I have is with basic Minecraft, but the most fun I have is with the adventure maps people create. Like oh, here's the story, here are these adventure, like go on this adventure, take these items and go raid this castle that I set up this whole story I wrote in books. And now that you can do MP3, so now you have voiceovers inside Minecraft now that people record and can place voiceovers for these adventure
really?
maps. Yeah, so to get that in, imagine AI that it comes and talks to you in game. I would love that, and that's in. I don't have to download anything. It's there for me to go experience and go rate, and just this is fun. It's gonna be a blast. I'm already excited.
I fully expect early on a whole group of people are going to be building the wall in the north. That'll happen really soon.
Oh
yeah.
The example that we always use when we talk about Landmark is that someone out there is going to be building Hogwarts, and I think that it's going to be incredibly cool that when you give them the tools, yeah, Flattus raising his hand, that they're going to make not just Hogwarts, but they're going to be putting things into that area that makes Hogwarts more than just a building. It's going to feel like magic is happening.
So think about this aspect, right? It's a free-to-play game. You can log in and almost be a tourist. You could just wander around and look at things for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get lost. Give it 3 or 4, maybe 6 months in. I'm just gonna log in one day and spend 4 hours just walking around looking at things.
I decided what I want to build.
Hogwarts?
No. I want to build a big slide.
That's gonna be fun, especially with heroic movement.
Yeah.
Knowing
A
my
slide
luck,
that goes around a tree.
knowing my luck, I'll heroic movement off the slide and just fall to my death.
There are some things that worry me about Landmark, and it's its potential for a creative outlet, and that's mostly just the taking it from a modeling tool and making it a game design tool, or making it an interaction tool, because we haven't seen any scripted items. We don't even know if they're talking about making scripted items, or I mean Second Life is the ultimate game creator almost. I mean, other than the really crappy mechanics and the awful programming, it allows you to change everything. I can make clothes, I can make hair, I can make weapons, I can make houses, I can make zones. It doesn't. We're still pretty limited in what we seem to be able to do in EverQuest Next. But I think for what it is, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And sorry, I meant to say Landmark. I always do that.
Yep.
But I don't know. Do you guys think this is going to be enough to hold you for a long time?
Absolutely.
I've I've been watching the game for quite a while. Starbound that just came out. It's very like Terraria in some ways. It's one of the best-selling games on Steam right now. I mean, it's top 3 for the whole first week in early access. People are still, there's a big market for this. People still enjoy this kind of thing, and just sitting and playing it, it's really made me think about. It's gonna be really cool to be able to do that inside of a
3D space.
Oh yeah, it's just gonna be crazy.
Yeah, Starbound's really cool. I mean, especially because it's every time you load up the game, let's say if you start a whole new character, you get different planets, and it's very, very cool. And there's already mods out for it, so that's kind of cool. I love it.
Yeah,
like I said, I like games like that.
I think 2 things as far as game development, this day and age, they're really important. And one is like this crowdsourcing type thing where they're involving people quite a bit. I think that's great.
Absolutely.
And then the other one is like you were saying, is modability. People being able to goof with it and change that. People love to do that. Skyrim wouldn't be nearly as popular as it is without the ability to mod it.
Yeah, the mods. Yeah, you're right.
And as somebody pointed out in channel, that the whole MOBA genre, like Dota, League of Legends, that all started as a map that someone made for World of Warcraft. And I noticed the other day that whilst we were playing that, I got invited to play StarCraft 2, and then there was this arcade section that I was not previously aware of, and it was just all of these different games that somebody had made using StarCraft 2 tools. And as I'm playing it, I'm also thinking to myself that, you know what, Blizzard is tracking who's playing these games and how many people are playing it. Because if a lot of people are playing it, they're going to start looking at it and be like, lots of fun is being had right here. What is it about this that is making fun? And learning from it. And I think that's, like you said, having those tools out there and available is important, especially when you can sort of like see what's driving the players. What are they doing? What do they think is fun?
Definitely. And if they have any data like they do for PlanetSide 2, they're definitely going to be able to capture a lot of that.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I guess we have to move on to our next topic. I never feel like we get any closure with these things.
It's really hard to have closure when we can't actually sink our teeth into something. And I think that, again, we're just pointing out what we're hearing and what, expanding on it a little bit. But you know what, though? I think that this next topic, though, is one that we can actually get a whole lot more clarification on, and that is the naming in EQN and how it's going to be. They clarified it in their live stream, but, hey, you guys all hear what it is. You're going to have an account name, and you can, it'll be Jacob Tanlin, Nathan Tanlin, Isaiah Tanlin, all of those I can use the Tanlin multiple times.
Yeah, so the Tanlin, so your first name is not specific to you. Your last name is, right? I think Hyles has most of the details on this, though.
Here's a fun fact. My second name in EQ1 for years and years is the name that I wound up using on the YouTube channel, Tavane. It's a Dark Elf family name. And my daughter also had characters under that second name. It was kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, I think that...
Everyone asks me where that name comes from. That's where it comes from.
That's cool.
Hyles does that same thing. What is the name of that, the Dark Elf family that you use?
Oh my god.
Firth?
Do you not remember, really? Aw.
Was it Firth?
You put me... Freth.
Freth, that's...
You put me on the spot.
I'm sorry.
But see, that's the one thing. Is this really going to be like a family thing then? Because the last name would be specific to you. So your characters, your login.
So the way that I understand it, and thank God we have Omid, is that if I want to name my character Kylest, I can go Kylest, but then the last name, the family name, is going to be my station name. Because that's what it sounds like to me. So I'll be Kylest.ever_Kai.
So is that like that old school Mario, Mario movie from like the early '90s, like Mario and Luigi Mario? That'll be Flattus.
I guess so. I don't think it's linked to your station account name because that would be like a login issue, you know?
Right.
Since they say not to use that for anything else, even though I'm sure most people do. So I guess you just, when you go in game, if you played Wizardry Online, like maybe it's something like that, and probably not. But you basically create one character with like a name, and then all the characters after that sort of like are associated with the first character or something. It was weird, but I think, I don't know, it's weird. Do I want a dot in between my names, or do I want two names on my character?
He said station handle.
Station handle, okay, so that's different than, so is that different than your login then? I think it would be.
Your station handle is what you use in the forums.
Okay, cool.
I think.
All right.
And
the
if
Flattus.
Like, you know what, guys? Let me just say, guys, I love SOE, but there's sometimes that you guys are so freaking vague on things that you're like, oh, by the way, this is the way that works. And now
man.
Like the stupid naming is confusing.
I guess you pick your station handle name, or it's based off your station handle, so everyone knows who it is. Maybe it shows up in your friends list, for instance, as me instead of my character I'm playing, and then it allows me maybe in parentheses on the character, or I don't know how they're going to do it, but that'll say the character name I want it to, and at the same time it'll link back to my station handle. So maybe I can like hover over a character, and then I can see like the profile information of their station handle, you know, have those social tools built in, because they're going to have a landmark where you can follow people. Say I like a builder, I can follow the builder or something like that. So they're probably going to have like a profile system built into the game, or something like it. So imagine, you know, I can say, hey, there's Flattus, even though he might be playing on Helsing Flattus, or Flattus Helsing, or Bob whatever.
Builder.
Bob the Builder. And maybe while I'm in game, at first all I see is Bob the Builder. But then maybe if I hover over the him or something, then I can see, oh, that's Flattus, or I can track him on my friends list or something. I mean, this is just hypothetical. We don't really know how they're going to do it, but that's one way it could be tackled, I guess.
Yeah, make it like a con system to where if you...
Oh, Omid says you're only going to see the character name.
Okay, so then let me see what I mean. Like, then does that mean like if multiple people can have the name Kylest, but it's only like differentiated by their station handle? Does that mean that I can walk into somebody that says Kylest?
Maybe it'll work like it'll be in parentheses. Like it could be Flattus, and I go to a different server, and I'm Flattus, and then like my station handle's in parentheses, like so they know like that guy.
Yeah,
maybe
this is a bad topic.
Well,
this is a bad topic.
All right, should we move on?
We should probably just like move on.
Okay.
Omid, was I right? Is that how it's gonna work? Like I'll jump in, like I'll be Flattus, but then if I jump onto a different server in parentheses, I'll have my station handle.
And we wait for the jury. It's gonna be like what, 20 seconds?
Yeah.
We'll get there.
All right. So definitely is a topic.
In Battlegrounds, like cross-server Battlegrounds, that's usually how it is. Like it's your character name dot the server you come from, or something like that, right? But this way, it wouldn't be associated with the server; it'd be associated with your account, I guess.
And I'll go even as far as saying that in Warcraft, with the latest patch, your character's identity is name of character - server.
Yeah.
Okay, roundtable questions then.
Like you can see the person's battle.net ID, right? But then it's different from their character name in game.
Not
or you can't see their battle.
Only if they only if they share it with you can you see it. And then there's a difference between their battle tag and then their real ID. Their real ID gives you their real name, and if you don't feel comfortable with that, you just give them your battle tag.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going to have to wait until they show us, because maybe it's a little too hard to picture what exactly they're going for right now.
Just that I think it's going to be super obvious once we get the implementation and can show you in game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So roundtable questions.
We'll all see it and we'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's
like,
it.
Oh, God,
we
so
spent 20 minutes
dumb.
talking about this.
Really?
What the hell were we thinking?
All right, let's go to roundtable.
Okay, this one, what's funny is that this one would probably go for another 20 minutes because I think that Chad and I are a little bit on the same page. But here is the question. Should there be multiple starting areas? The answers are yes, but the areas should be limited based on factors like class or race. Answer number 2, yes, but there should be multiple options, and I should be able to choose any of them. And option number 3, yes, there should be multiple starting areas, but I should be placed in the world based on population or other game needs. And then 4, no, everyone should start in one area.
One area for me.
I pick 5.
What's 5?
What's 5?
There's multiple starting zones that are limited by race or whatever.
So like an
but I can
EQ1 system?
pick 1.
Okay.
My thing goes back to... I'll defer to the guest.
I'm sorry. I don't see how they're going to implement that, given the lore that they're introducing right now. I mean, as far as the lore goes, these people have they've had their butts kicked so hard that they've had to band together, and there aren't separate cities.
I imagine, like...
Yeah, we're going to be building them with rally calls, right?
I imagine, like, when we all start this game for the first time, it's going to be us all, like, just freshly off the boats on the beach.
Oh my god, do you know how epic that would be? Us against the world? Like, that would be
like, we're all there, we're just like, we are so screwed. We are just so...
What do we do now?
All we have is sand, there's a crab there, I don't even know what that crab's doing.
I agree.
We could.
I think it should be tied to rally calls. I think it should be tied to the event. I think that there should be a tutorial instance that's super short. I hate long tutorials that you have to play through for like 10 levels that are the same experience every time. I can't stand it. Usually they're way too long. You can just give me the basic mechanics, make it simple and intuitive so I can learn as I go. And then just plop the player in the new rally call and say, here you go, start exploring. That way it's always fresh content. Now, I agree also with Kylest, with multiple cities based on race, but I don't think that should be the starting zone itself. Over time, we build Kinos and we build this and we build this, the story evolves. Then we can go visit those cities and we can have like KOS guards and all that kill you if you're a high elf and you're going into a Neriak or something. But I'd really love to see a dynamic experience like a rally call for starting zones, and that's why I say the 1, because just a super short tutorial, then drop you in the world.
I say... multiple, but based on the needs of the game, and because if you drop the whole server population in a starting zone at launch, it's going to be chaos. So I think that at a certain point in time, you're going to have to understand that we need people to be in different places just so that the servers can come up evenly. Because I've been part of launches of games where everybody is in the same starting area, and it kind of sucks. That said, though, I would say the majority of the people coming into the game, this is not their first show. They're experienced MMO players, and they don't need exactly the starting area. So maybe you want to have like hey, this is an advanced area for players who are not beginners and don't need a starter area.
Isn't that like the level, like they're...
But it's not going to have... Is it going to have levels or is it not? Because my understanding,
I think it means
no levels.
Tiered levels of the world,
tiered
right?
levels,
But there's also going to be like tier 3 level content on top of the world too in areas. You're still going to have difficult. You're not going to have to go underground to get that. Just the deeper you go. But I don't know.
So Dig said it didn't say starting cities, but I just went and looked, and it says, should there be multiple starting areas?
Right, and
so then I guess I say yes, from my point of view, based on the rally calls. Each rally call should be a new starting area. Just make a tutorial mechanism that can copy over. Like even if I don't want to go through a separate tutorial, make pop-up windows that are actually smart and intuitive, or a voiceover that says, "Hey, welcome to EverCast." We'll have Flattus. He'll be perfect.
Yeah. Welcome to
EverCast.
But then just be like, this is how you go to the map. This is the world. Here's like an NPC. I mean, it's emergent questing, so they can see what kind of NPC has a quest in the area, and they can offer it to a specific player the second they load in, just for that player.
Here's a little idea. Would you be interested? Let's say we start on the island we're initially sailing from, and like that's our tutorial area. Like just to get through like movement, like how just to get you to like, oh, attack that sand crab, and like here, and then all of a sudden it's like you hop on a ship, and then bam, you're back, you're right in the rally call where you need to be. You've learned the basics, and you're just like, all right, I know my attacks, and then I jumped on the boat. Now I'm in land. I'm on the rally call, and the other where I need to be. That could happen.
The one thing, have you guys noticed? The one thing I hate about tutorials, I guess, is in EQ2 they had one. And it almost seems like a waste of like developmental resources because they're constantly having to update it over the years. It gets antiquated really fast because game design changes so fast. Like, would you guys want to see a tutorial? Do you want to see... Let's do this. Do you want to see starting zones where the tutorial's built in with quests, kind of like, you know, the beginning of Rift or the beginning of EQ2 or something like that? Do you want to see maybe pop-up learning, where it's maybe not just reading, but they present it to you dynamically as you zone into the newest rally call? Do you want it to be based on rally call, if that? I had a third option, but I think that's good enough for discussion.
I just want to be able to log into the game for the first time and engage in the world in a realistic way where I'm not, you know, kill 10 rat type stuff, where where my character is doing something that is meaningful not just to me, but to like whatever roleplay considerations I've created for that character. Because even when you don't have like starting zones, it's like I don't want to have to be the one warrior who's running love letters as a beginning quest. You know, I want to skip all that stuff. I want to do the stuff that matters to that character.
Yeah, he's not into love letters.
Skippable's a great point, honestly.
Like Tamlin during the Civil War, just like, my dearest Kai. It's...
I love World of Warcraft.
No, seriously though. Yeah, skippable. I mean, whatever you want to do, make it skippable.
I'd like to skip it.
If you want a tutorial, if you want a starting zone, don't make me do it every single time on every single character to level up. Well, there's no level.
Yeah.
Real
Real quick though, because we talked about this on Twitter. I think what I mentioned was, I don't start me off wherever I'm needed, but I would love to take back. Like we left this place, so our homes are taken or they're overrun by something else. Let us go back there and take them back. And if they're destroyed, let us rebuild them. Give us the rally calls. Let me go back and take the mines back for the dwarves, and so we can have our home city again. That's what I want to do. I don't want to just sit there and be like, here's our home city, we just left it, and here it is. No, I want it to be overrun with cave trolls and stuff like that, and I have to go take it back, and we have to rebuild and start again and recreate our home. That's what we're here for. We're landing back on this new Norath.
Make it based on survival.
We're here to take it back. It's ours. It's ours. It is our land, and we're here to take it back.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, occupy.
I love that.
Let's take it back. That's all I'm saying. Like, let's just go in.
Next
and,
roundtable question.
Well, we actually got to take a break, guys. Quick 5 minutes.
Okay.
Do you want to play video, Tana?
I didn't have one planned. I can play. No, I don't have anything.
Oh, that's cool. We're going to take a 5-minute break, guys. We'll be right back for the second half.
We've done this once before where we've just played. I'm going to play the developer's letter for December, featuring Pentapod, and then.
She's not here tonight, so that in her honor.
In her honor, and so that you guys.
She is at Jason's birthday party, drinking.
Everyone's saying. Maybe we should sing happy birthday to Jason.
Oh my god, we should totally do that.
maybe Andoran wants to play us some music for our break.
No one will hear it unless he's got it coming through TeamSpeak.
Mic, yeah. I can't hear him.
I wasn't. Yeah.
Pulling a Tamlin. That's a drink.
Yeah, drink.
Oh, there it is. Everybody drink.
Wow, Crota.
Tamlin hasn't even pulled one today. This is ridiculous. What's going on?
I'm learning. I'm adapting.
It's so good once it hits your lips.
Okay.
What she said.
And that is a break right there. We'll worry about the music next time. Who wants to camp us out for a quick break?
Do we camp before break?
We gotta camp to the log.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Camping in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.